Hey, it's syndicated radio talk show host, author, singer Al Cole, welcoming you to another edition of People of Distinction, the talk that gives an in-depth view of some of the most dynamic, intelligent, and successful people on the planet. I come from CBS Radio. My shows are nationally syndicated, and I've helped pave the way to treating women, guys too, with the dignity that they deserve, and I do that on my show, People of Distinction, standardly aired on the top networks around, including the toppest airing CBS shows, and that's Apple's iTunes Radio Network. Under their professional news talk division, they air CBS shows, BBC, and Fox News, NPR, the whole kit and caboodle, C-SPAN as well. Top talk in the country around the world on Apple's iTunes Radio Network under News Talk. And I also have my People of Distinction Humanitarian Awards events. They are national events in New York, also on Capitol Hill to members of the U.S. Congress, and Florida, Atlanta, other parts of the country. I'll tell you, I've honored over 100 national and international unsung heroes since 2013. And they're at my website, all of them. Run to my website, peopleofdistinction.org. That's peopleofdistinction.org, and you'll see all of my unsung heroes over the years since 2013. You'll also see my alliances with a whole bunch of national people. You can hear my shows there on my station page through Apple, everything, and my alliances with the great Ariana Huffington of the Huffington Post. And she's invited me into her Thrive Global Network. We love that. So check it all out. I'm a media consultant as well. If you need any help with getting your profitability margin up with being an entrepreneur, I can help you out that way. I can help you to interview better, to make your interviews profitable, and to teach you how to make good living at social media these days and digital media, things along that line. So I want you to email me at alcoholic@gmail.com. You heard me right. That's ALCOLEHOLIC@gmail.com. And I really want to thank my CBS radio listeners for coming up with that handle, alcoholic. Seemed like from day one, my listeners have been saying, Al, we love what you're doing there, brother. In fact, we're hooked on it. We're alcoholics. You got to love that. And you got to love our People of Distinction guests that call all the way from Mexico City. Hey, and that's this guy today. His name is Francisco Javier Morales, and he's written a wonderful new book called Personal Achievements. Yeah, now that can mean a lot of things. And I know that a lot of my listeners are wondering, well, I don't know, personal achievements, could mean some guy's training for the Olympics, or maybe a woman too. And they want to maybe outdo everybody else, and that's their personal achievement. Other people, I don't know, maybe modeling, acting, maybe in music, maybe this, maybe that. And maybe somebody goes to law school, and their personal achievement is to pass that bar and become a lawyer or a doctor or whatever they're going to be in their personal achievements. Get it? Okay. Now, there are also personal achievements that have to do with the workplace these days. Once you get out there and you land this job, could be the job of your dreams, could be, the job that you need at that particular point. And then you find out once you're in that position, wow, there are challenges to this workplace and things that I didn't know about. And now I have to really get up to speed here. Not only to do my job well, but guess what? There's another aspect of the workplace too, especially these days. And that is, looking around and seeing, you're a guy, you see this woman who looks really foxy. What do you do in the workplace? That's a big challenge. Do I go and say hi to her as a co-employee, or do I come on to her? Whatever. All right. So now Francisco, he's got some experience here, and he's going to put it down his way as far as the personal achievements in his book, that do involve, some things that, in the workplace, boy meets girl, woman meets guy, that sort of thing, and what develops from there. This is captivating stuff, people, on People of Distinction. Well, we offer the captivation. And I want you to order this book at Amazon.com, Personal Achievements by our guest Francisco Javier Morales. And I want you to know that he was brought to us by You Are Link, one of the great book publishers of our time. And they're into that cutting edge personal approach to their authors. If you're an author, you got a book, and you want to get it out there. Yeah, you have best-selling book aspirations even. Well, this is the place to go. You Are Link. Go to youarelinkpublishing.com, and you're going to love that. So, welcome, Francisco, to People of Distinction with Al Cole. It's great having you on today. How are you, Francisco?
Fine, thank you, Al. Thank you for the interview. Thank you for getting in touch with your audience. Thank you all, guys.
It's my pleasure. And we're going to be talking about it right now. Personal Achievements, your book. And I want you to put it your way. When you wrote that book, Personal Achievements, what did you want to achieve with the writing of that book, Francisco?
There are several things. One of them is that we go to the job market, we work hard, and we'll find very, well, quite different kind of bosses. You may have a really friendly boss. It's something strange, really. Then you may find a boss that is quite unfriendly. It's more or less common. And then you go, from one side to the other side with one good boss and one bad boss in the different jobs you have. Comes, maybe as you mentioned, there comes a beautiful girl, and you take a look to her, and they say, "Oh my God, what's happening here?" And things start to develop, and and also things start to get complicated because sometimes you don't know what is the personal achievements in your job or what is the personal achievements at your job. So it's quite something that is get mixed up, and sometimes we will get a little bit blind about what we are doing and what we're doing with our labor life. And then this book has also the characteristic of being very enjoyable because it tells you, in first person of singular, the challenges, the adventures of that person, and it goes little by little, and it starts when the character has his first job. From that onwards, he's telling you all his stories, the problems that he may have with one boss, and then he goes to his house and tells his family about it. And then he comes to a job where there's a wonderful girl called Patty. That's really uh, a very enjoyable part of the story because it has some sex appeal, yes, but that part or that chapter will make you laugh. Really, I don't know how I wrote it, but when I wrote it, I was laughing, and my friends who have read the books, it's very it's very enjoyable book. It will make you laugh. It will make you it will make you see your labor life, but not paying much attention to the labor environment as such, but as what is happening to you inside that world in terms of a relation with a girl called Victoria. That's the first girl that appears, and then this second one called Patty.
Yes, we know. And you got to order this book, people. Personal Achievements by our guest, Francisco Javier Morales. And it's available on Amazon.com. It's all about the challenges of today's workplace. Yeah, not only in the U.S., but of course, Francisco comes from Mexico. So let's find out here, if there's a difference in the workplace of the United States as opposed to Mexico. Mexico's in the news, and we want to find out what the workplace situation is in Mexico. Tell us about that, Francisco.
The way that I can answer to this question is a very interesting question, and I can say that it has to do with the culture of the Mexican people when they go to the labor market. Here, everything is, in a vertical sense, hierarchical. And once I worked, for example, for two American companies. I don't know if I can tell the names of them, but over there, I felt very happy when I worked with them. The structure was very flat. I could have interaction with with top guys in the organization, and it was and the work kept on flowing. The work kept on flowing, and it was really a nice place to work over there. And when I have worked in Mexican companies, no, there's a very stiff hierarchy. You have to follow it. You have to. Your boss is more or less like it's not like a god, but it's a
Mm.
guy who talks to God. It's something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And when he talks to God, he comes and tells you what God told him. So it's although this is what happens in Mexico. Working in U.S. firms, two consulting firms I have worked with, two top consulting firms, as a matter of fact.
Yes, I can imagine. And you're giving the impression that it might be tougher in Mexico.
It's
And
tough.
yes, look at that. We are human beings, and we need to relate to all human beings. That's why it's really a pleasure having Francisco Javier Morales on the show right now, talking about his new book, Personal Achievements, and talking about some of the challenges of the workplace these days. You can order that book at Amazon.com. We have some minutes left in the show, Francisco. Tell us a little bit more about the book in terms of does the guy get the girl?
Well, let's start with the first girl that appears over there, Victoria. Victoria is the first lover or the first relation that the character has, and he's very happy because he has a job, that give him an income to pay for traveling with the girlfriend. They go to somewhere near Mexico City, and they had a terrible time in a hotel. As a matter of fact, it's a really nice hotel. An hour far from Mexico City, and they are the very laughable experiences that are told in the story. I can, if I tell you, maybe I'm not giving you the flavor of reading the book, but that part is quite enjoyable. And then comes Patty. Patty is the assistant of the character. As a matter of fact, the character has my name. I can say that he is. I can identify with him, but he's not totally me. And Patty is comes to his office. She's his assistant, and they start to work. And then the character sees that her eyes are beautiful, that her voice is really nice, that her hair moves very swiftly, just as angels do. If angels had hair, I don't know if they have, but possibly if they had, their hair will be moving as Patty's hair does, and that's one thing. The character gets very emotional, very in love with Patty, and Patty corresponds to him in some way. And here is the best part, in terms of a very enjoyable book. The best part is in that chapter of Patty. In one section, the guy tells her, he's thinking about her about telling her that he likes very much her eyes. And then he goes for lunch, comes back, and then calls Patty to his office, and Patty tells him, "Oh, boss, I really like very much your eyes." So it starts to get very funny. It's very funny.
Hey, and we love fun on People of Distinction with Al Cole, and that's what Personal Achievements is all about as well, especially when it's wrapped up in the book title of Francisco Javier Morales' book, Personal Achievements. And you can grab that at Amazon.com, and all about the challenges of the workplace these days. You gotta love it. And also check out UR Link. They brought me Francisco and a lot of great authors. They're a cutting-edge book publishing company. Look, if you got a new book out, if you got an old book out that you'll want to get out there again, you got to get to UR Link. They can really help you out. So go to urlinkpublishing.com Com. Thank you so much, Francisco, for being my special guest here today on People of Distinction with Al Cole. It's been my pleasure.
Thank you very much, Al. I really like your questions, really. They made me feel comfortable. It's really nice just having the interview with you.